Hello, my name is Amanda Dispinette and I'm going to be presenting my prop box. So my prop box is going to be for kindergartners and it is going to be a bakery. So go ahead and show you what's on the inside. So first I'm going to discuss the books. We are going to be using the Chromebook to access these. I chose my books from Story Jumper, so that is where the children will be able to access them. I can also download and print them so they have physical copies as well. So this first one that I have is The Big Bake Off by Gemma Sowards and Olivia Bolanos. It is a nonfiction story about Baker Pineapple and Baker Raspberry having a bake-off to make King Cherry's birthday cake. He was the best cake possible. And it just goes through, Baker Pineapple doesn't follow the instructions, he doesn't do everything right, he does it sloppily, and of course his cake doesn't come out very well. But Baker Cherry does everything exactly to the recipe, and then the cake comes out perfectly and he wins the contest. So it's really going to show the students the importance of following the recipes to get the results. Those exact measurements are there for a reason. If you stray from it, then things aren't going to really work out for us. So now this next one is called Baking with Grandma, and it is by Alejandra Ramos. It's just about a kid who loves to bake with her grandma. She wanted to bake a cake, and her grandma thought it was the perfect time to teach her how to make a cake. And so it includes a recipe, it shows pictures of them baking together, and so it is also a way for students to connect to this text because they may have experiences of cooking or baking at home with their own families. And then lastly, I have How to Make Chocolate Chip Cookies by Alexis Fazio, and it is a very detailed story of a woman wanting to make some cookies because her friends are coming over. It includes the recipe. It goes step by step on how to make the cookies, and pictures are included of everything that how the recipe looks as it is coming along. So it'll be a great resource for the students to use to whenever they're practicing making cookies imaginary, they can look at the pictures and know what it's supposed to look like in real life as well. So now that we have our books, I'm going to put this to the side. And this first item that I have in here is going to be our cash register and our fake money. So the students will be able to decide the prices on the baked goods that they create, and they will be in charge of charging the students as well, the other kids that they're playing with, for the baked goods that they are purchasing. It also has a way to calculate on there as well. Next, I have the different recipes that they would follow. So the muffin recipe, it comes with all the ingredients. It has checklists, so they can check and make sure that they have everything in there before they proceed. And then the directions also have little check marks on them as well. And it's a way for students to keep track of the progress through the recipe. We have muffins, we have cookies, we got cake, we got cupcakes, so it's many different recipes in here. Alright, and then we have our mixing bowl. So of course this is going to be very important. We have to put all of our ingredients somewhere. Within all of those texts that we had, they always use a big mixing bowl to put everything all together, so that's very important. We also have several different measuring tools. So we have a measuring cup. We got this one's for liquid. These ones are for the powder, like flours and all of that. We got spoons as well. We got a whisk, so we can whisk together all of our ingredients. We got mixing spoons as well. We've got many different plates, so I got some pie plates right here. We got our cake pan. So this one's for like banana bread. It's a bread pan. We got a little cake pan as well. Now, of course, these are metal, or I'm sorry, these are glass. I wouldn't use glass in my classroom. This is just what I had handy for now. I would purchase plastic materials, maybe from the Dollar Tree, and use those instead. We also have some parchment paper. We talk about the importance of why we use parchment paper in things like baking cookies. Sometimes we use it for cakes to avoid it from sticking to the pan. We have our rubber spatulas, that way we can really scrape out all that batter that we've made. We've got some little trays that we can use to present our baked goods, make it look all nice and pretty. We have some more little containers that the students can use to put their fake baking powder in. After they measure it, they can store it in these little containers before they put it into their mixing bowl. Something people may see when they watch baking shows. We have toothpicks, which we can use toothpicks to check the doneness of baked goods like cupcakes, muffins, and all of that. We also have a rolling pin because, of course, rolling dough and stuff is important, and that's a great thing. And the last thing we have is this wire rack for cooling our cookies or our muffins or anything. Now, the way we can tie all of this stuff into our text is to question, why do we have these? What is the purpose of putting the cookies on a cooling rack? If you keep it on the tray, the bottom will burn. So this helps keep the cookies nice and moist throughout. So the last thing I want to cover is the critical thinking questions that the students will be answering at the end of this. So first is, how will you compare and contrast muffins and cupcakes? So they are similar in the way that they look, but they're also different. So how so? Secondly, what can you say about how to bake a cake? Like, what kind of ingredients are required? Do you have to have the oven at a certain temperature? And then lastly, what would happen if you forgot to put an ingredient into a recipe? Now, obviously, our book, How the Great Bake Off, Baker Pineapple forgets to put things in and it doesn't go as planned. So of course, if you forget to put an ingredient, then it doesn't work. All right, so then when the students are playing with this in the classroom, we may or may not have a fake little oven. So if not, we can use this prop box itself as the oven. We can turn it over to the side. We can use the top of this box itself as a little makeshift lid for it, so we can put it like this and they can pretend to be opening the oven like this. And then if we do that, we can attach little stickers right here so that they can set the temperature of the oven. All right, thank you very much.